I'm not trans, but I'd like to believe I can pick up on patterns. I don't know how trans or not trans something is, and I'm not going to pretend I do. But I am going to pretend I do. Video games are fun. They are cool. As a type of media, there's a little something for everyone, no matter who you are. And if there isn't, you can make it yourself. There's a new trend I've noticed with indie games. A specific type of sauce that isn't found anywhere else. PS1 graphics, pixel art, retro visuals to invoke a feeling of nostalgia, unconventional game design. It's something conventional that's twisted around into an abstract idea of a video game. It doesn't feel like something that exists, but because it doesn't exist, means that it does exist. These games do not have a specific type or genre. They just have a style that encapsulates the entire collection. For lack of a better name, I've opted to call them trans games, based on the type of individual these projects connect to the most. I'm not saying this as a way to make fun of trans people. The adjective of trans is not meant to be derogatory. It's just how it is. There's not much representation in mainstream media. The closest people get is subtle hints, or making things up on top of a sliver of an idea. In response to this drought, indie developers, some of which are trans, have taken it upon themselves to make something for this community. I like to separate developers who are trans from developers who aren't, because sometimes these games are not made with trans people in mind. But even if the game is not designed to be about the trans experience, something about these types of projects resonate with a large majority in one way or another. For example, take Cruelty Squad. This is not a trans game. This is not a game about being trans, but there is something special about it. The unconventional graphics make you feel out of place in this world. People treat the rules of this world as if it's normal, as if you are supposed to feel the same. You feel like an outcast in a society that is not the same as you, as you desperately try to fit in. The use of a market centered around organ trading can relate to the feeling of not feeling like a human, of being comparable to a thing made out of parts. You're treated by the way you are built, not by the way you are. The only way for you to be accepted by society is by changing the way you are made, in a way that they deem adequate enough. It turns humanity into a system of organ trading. Obviously, this is just my own interpretation. I'm speculating on what someone else might feel about this game that I myself do not. A quote trans game does not have to be a trans game. But there is something that does. Trans music is a strange concept, but one that works well. It's music made by people who are trans for others who are trans. A shared experience of life based in anger. These artists tend to be a weird combination of hyperpop, breakcore, webcore, and whatever the fuck a dariacore is. There are exceptions, but this is the norm. It invokes a specific feeling through its chords. It's one that's hard to explain, but one that you know when you hear it. A lot of the time, this music is referred to as trans music or something similar, and no other discussion is had. It's a one-note idea, with nothing to talk about. I believe that's far from the case. There's a conversation to be had, but because of the way people are, that conversation does not happen. I want that to change, and that's the purpose of this video. I believe trans music falls under 3 distinct categories: the wish, the wrath, and the warmth. Femtanyl, otherwise known as Noel, is an artist who makes very interesting music. If you've been on the internet, you probably know who Femtanyl is. You've probably seen a tweet talking about the quality of the music, or how they think it's cornball material, or you're someone who likes to listen. Either way, for this topic, she is a wonderful place to start. A lot of the themes throughout her work are found in the other projects. One of those ideas being dehumanization is a theme that's found across all of her work. The idea of lacking essential human qualities, of being lesser than others, of being not human. Her first EP was Chaser, a direct reference to the trans experience. A chaser is someone who fetishizes trans people. By naming the album Chaser, it's dehumanizing the person behind the music before it begins. I am not a person. I am someone's fetish. This idea can also be found in the album covers for each of the singles. The cover arts involve her character being violently mutilated. It relates to the theme of her music. It's very violent, very explicit. It's dehumanizing something that isn't human. It's a creature that's designed to be pulled apart and ruined. The clearest way to understand what I mean is by listening to, in my opinion, one of her best songs, Girl Hell 1999. As you can hear, the song features very angry and direct lyrics over a dissociative melodic beat. It's the internalization of what you want from the world, what you want for yourself, and not being able to express it. The rage builds up from within you while you disassociate on the outside. You are stuck expressing your grievances and speaking to no one, because no one will listen to you. It's the auditory equivalent to a manic episode, breaking down with no direct conclusion in mind. It goes from idea to idea with no through line. Within the context of the full song, it makes sense, but as a story, there is none. It's less of a narrative and more so an eruption of emotion. And just like a natural disaster, there's nothing you can do to prevent it besides taking cover and letting it pass.
I got cellophane wrapped around the lining of my throat. Bruises on my neck, I'm just a doll of flesh. You'll find my smoking body hung in wires overhead. Novocaine, lobotomize me, teach me how to think. Bitch, I do not miss you, I miss how you used to taste. I'm just here to push your temper, put me in my grave.
Femtanyl is a distilled extraction of the trans experience. It's the musical version of crumping, a direct means to get the anger out. The rage comes to a boil to the point it bubbles out from the pot. It's about being abused and internalizing the abuse to its extreme. For if you spend your whole life living in a world that hates you, eventually you will begin to hate yourself. You will dehumanize and self-hate to the point you compare yourself to an animal. If you're going to be treated like an animal, like you're not a person, they might as well go the full way. Lobotomize me. Treat me like your pet. Put me down like a dog. I am not a person. Femtanyl is about hating yourself while wanting to live without feeling like you are, without hating yourself as much as people hate you. It's the wish. I want to be who I am. I want to love who I am. I want the world to accept me for who I am. And if that doesn't happen, this can lead to something more extreme. Stomach Book, otherwise known as Vivian Weeks, is a musician who serves as one of my favorite creators to date. I've used a large amount of her music in my videos because I fuck with the sauce. I wanted to use Stomach Book as an example because she is one of the best sources of understanding. Goodnight Hypnopomp is one of my favorite albums of late. She's made other music, but this album is the best way to get the idea across. Nothing else has a more direct line than I watched you from inside the closet. As opposed to Femtanyl, Stomach Book's music features very angry lyrics over a very abrasive beat. Instead of lashing out at the self, it's lashing out at everything around them. If the world is the reason I'm not able to live how I want, I might as well make them hurt as much as I do. A lot of the lyrics throughout the songs are about abuse, more specifically romanticizing domestic abuse. For someone who is considered wrong in an outcast of society at large, the fact someone wants to hurt them is more positive than it is negative. It's validation. If someone wants to hurt me in a deeply personal way, that means I am a person.
So play a song on my little music box teeth.
Play a song on my little music box teeth.
Turn the lights off, let me write my memory on your eyelids.
Turn the lights off. Let me write my melodies on your eyelids. Make my heart stop.
Can't remember how your blood tastes.
Can't remember how your blood tastes.
Let's share a delusion with wine and nicotine.
Let's share a delusion with wine and nicotine.
I'll give you something to hold my disasters in under your skin.
I'll give you something to hold all my disasters in under your skin.
Don't look at me, how could I make a mess out of things? I don't wanna be your first mistake.
Don't look at me. I really made a mess out of things. I don't want to be your latest mistake.
There's one specific song I want to go into detail about because I feel it is the clearest way to understand this idea. That song is FUKOUNA GIRL. The name of the song comes from a GIF featuring a girl being horribly maimed. Obviously, I'm not going to show you. It's something created exclusively for people to get off to the violence, people enjoying someone else's abuse. Towards the beginning of the song, there's a collection of 3 lines that stand out.
Cause we don't really know what the facts were. Sing the same precious song with some new words. If you hate her, think you should kill her. But you won't because everybody is cheering for her.
It's, once again, more dehumanization, this time about trans people in general in today's society. People use the same lies and slander to paint trans people as pedophiles and a crime against nature. They aren't treated as people, they are treated as lesser. People say the same fascist rhetoric ad nauseum in a way to get their point across. But if they hate them so much, why don't they just kill trans people? Because they would rather use them as talking points than cause a hate crime. The way the line cuts off can be taken in 2 different ways. Either you should kill her, but you won't, because everybody's cheering for FUKOUNA GIRL, or Unfortunate Girl. Alternatively, it could be interpreted as, you should kill her, but you won't, because everybody's cheering for her to kill herself. They won't do anything that could be considered a hate crime. They will just abuse them to the point of their death, and when their victim is gone, they can deface the memorial. The repetition of pretty girls can never die into pretty girls deserve to die can be interpreted as how the mainstream media constantly uses trans women as talking points about hate crimes, only after they have died, either through their own means or a crime from another individual. When they're alive, they make a point about how trans people are groomers. When they're dead, they make a point about how innocent people are being hurt for expressing themselves. My interpretation of the song is that the speaker, and trans women in general, are unfortunate girls that must fit into a specific bracket. Otherwise, they are not treated as actual women. The government wants them dead, people want them dead, but the people would rather use them as talking points and laugh at their misfortune than do the deed themselves. The people watch as they jump through hoops to live. The public will only begin to feel sympathy once the speaker is dead, once the individual, and society at large, have learned their lesson. It's an angry, depressing song about their situation. They can't do anything to stop it, so they romanticize and develop a sense of Stockholm Syndrome in response. Stomach Book is about being abused and romanticizing it. If they want to hurt me, the most I can do is accept it and learn to love it. It's the musical form of pure rage, anger incarnate with no objective. Stomach Book is the wrath. I want to hurt myself. I want to hurt those who don't treat me as a person. But why? What are we fighting for? What life do we want? Something like this. You can very easily tell if what you're listening to is trans music if the album starts with the most dogshit asinine sample possible. Sometimes it's not trans music, it's rust.
Never attack the cul-de-sac, defenseless.
But that's something entirely different, not related to the topic at hand. I just fucking hate rust. Patricia Taxon is a YouTuber, but more importantly, a musician. She's made multiple albums of differing quality, but the one I want to talk about specifically is Little Spoon. From the beginning, it does a very good job at establishing a vibe. The album cover is a scenic winter void, with 2 furries on each side of the screen. It's a comfortable location. However, I'm not that big on the music. Music of this caliber is an acquired taste. I personally do not have that taste. The taste of clay is all I feel. It's a malleable slab that can be turned into something greater, but as it stands, it tastes like shit and is detrimental to my health. That's what I thought when I first began to listen. But as I continued, that feeling began to dissipate, and one took its place. The warmth. Little Spoon is the platonic ideal of a trans life. It's a much-needed reprieve from the intensity of the norm. Instead of loud, angry music, it's calm. It's comforting. The album as a whole functions well as escapism. It's a constant thing throughout trans media in general. Escape is fantasy. If the real world isn't great, it's nice to escape to one that is. Despite still being an escapist piece of work, things are not perfect. In Packed My Box,
I fucked up. The song's called Pack My Box. It's not Impact My Box. It's Pack My Box. I'm sorry. I don't know how to read properly. I am not dyslexic. I'm just kind of retarded.
Even though they are feeling good at that moment, it's brief, between moments of hardship.
I dreamt of the old man and power died, and for once I felt like it would be alright.
There are issues that bring them misery, but in this little moment, in this small section of the world the speaker and their lover has formed, they are safe. This tone persists throughout Patricia's entire discography, in some shape or form. For example, the final song of her album Gloria.
I tell a princess that there's nothing left.
Little Spoon is a very warm album. The constant use of beeping is cold, but in contrast to that, there's a lack of auto-tune. The voice is shoddy. It's as if someone has brought you into their home. They are warming you up. The beeps and blaring are cool and chilly, but when everything else is layered on top, it feels like you're surrounded by something keeping you warm, separated from that cold. It's the idea of February. It's called Little Spoon because ironically the album is the Big Spoon. Little Spoon serves as a different type of coping mechanism. While Femtanyl is about unleashing your anger, and Stomach Book is about romanticizing your struggles, Little Spoon is about coping through escapism. It's this sterile, no-issue safe space. There are struggles, but not here. There will be. Maybe soon. But for now, everything is okay. We will deal with what will happen when we leave. But for now, let us experience the warmth together. Little Spoon is about being abused, but not right now. Not currently. It's the world people want. The theoretical perfect place to live. A happy place. Patricia Taxon is the warmth. I want the warmth of love. I want to be happy. I want to live without worrying about the world around me. However, there is something I have failed to mention across all of these pieces of music. All of these fall under the greater umbrella of the same general idea. The want. I want to be happy. I want to love who I am. I want the world to experience the same pain it has made me feel. I want. Trans music is about claiming what you want. You want to live. You want to live in relative safety. It's easy to take that for granted when you don't want to peel off your own skin. This type of music is and can only be made possible because of one thing. The internet. The first time I found Stomach Book was on YouTube. I did not look for it. I did not want it, but it was there. It was interesting. It's not something you would stumble across anywhere else. It's too niche for the radio, and too strange for the majority. It's something that could only exist with any sort of following on the internet. There's no coincidence these artists are mainly popular online. The internet by itself is the perfect avenue for escapism, so it's not a far stretch that there are a lot of trans people online. When you aren't burdened by a physical appearance, you can take any shape or form. Games with a trans audience and music made for a trans audience exist because there is a way to create and share a group experience without need for physical contact. If there's proof that others are experiencing the same struggles you are and are able to channel it into their work, if they're still alive, still functioning, it makes living a little bit easier. I may not be trans, but I understand this feeling. Believing you are alone with your struggles. You and only you are in hell with no way of escaping. But others know your pain. They know how you feel. And although they can't help directly, they can be there for you, just as you can be there for them. You may be lonely, but you are lonely together. Very recently, I went to a Living Tombstone concert in Boston. It was wonderful. When you experience life, you feel alone, like you don't belong. But suddenly you meet a group of people similar to you, enjoying the same things you do, acting the same way you do, and it makes you feel accepted. Trans music is not trans music. It's accepting who you are. in spite of the world around you.
I forgot to put something in the video, so I'm putting it at the end here. Listen to high swaps, please. Thank you. Thank you. Please listen to high swaps, please. Please listen to high swaps, please. Please.